Imagine living on less than $2 a day, facing food shortages, limited healthcare, and a crumbling infrastructure. For the people of Burundi, this is not imagination, it's reality. Burundi, a small East African nation, holds the unfortunate title of being the poorest country in the world. But how did it reach this point? And what does life look like for its 13 million residents? In this video, we'll explore the struggles and resilience of the Burundian people, diving into their economy, education, healthcare, and way of life. We'll also examine how history has shaped the country's challenges and discuss its potential for change. Let's uncover the story behind the statistics and understand what it truly means to live in Burundi. The reality of poverty in Burundi. Burundi's status as the poorest country in the world is not merely a statistic, it's a harsh reality felt deeply by its people. With 87% of the population living on less than $1.90 a day, survival is a daily struggle. The gross national income, GNI, per capita, a mere $840, paints a bleak picture of widespread deprivation. Families often go without adequate food, shelter, and clothing, making poverty not just a challenge, but a way of life for the majority. The situation is compounded by limited access to clean water and electricity, which remain luxuries in most rural areas. For many Burundians, subsistence farming is the backbone of their livelihoods. However, outdated farming techniques, land degradation, and a rapidly growing population mean that the land can no longer sustain them. With an average of 5 children per family and one of the highest birth rates globally, the competition for dwindling resources intensifies. Hunger is a persistent issue, with nearly 60% of children under 5 suffering from chronic malnutrition. The sight of children dropping out of school to help their families farm or fetch water underscores the grim realities of poverty. Despite some international efforts, like UNICEF's Creatable project teaching innovative farming methods, the scale of need far outweighs the solutions currently in place. Historical and political challenges. Burundi's poverty is deeply rooted in its tumultuous history. After gaining independence from Belgium in 1962, the country experienced decades of political instability, ethnic conflict, and violence. The long-standing tensions between the Tutsi and Hutu ethnic groups escalated into cycles of civil war. Most notably from the 1990s to 2006, these conflicts left hundreds of thousands dead and displaced countless others. Even after the civil war ended, Burundi struggled to find stability. In 2015, President Pierre Nkurunziza's controversial bid for a third term sparked widespread protests and a failed military coup. The political crisis led to repression, economic collapse, and further isolation from the international community. Today, governance remains a critical issue, with corruption and power struggles among elites undermining progress and worsening the plight of ordinary citizens. A growing population and limited resources. Burundi's population, currently over 13 million, is growing at one of the fastest rates in the world. On average, Burundian women have 5 children, creating immense pressure on the country's limited resources. The average age in Burundi is just 16, meaning a young population faces fierce competition for education, jobs, and land. This strain exacerbates poverty and fuels tensions, as the country lacks the infrastructure to support its burgeoning youth. Landlocked and small in size, Burundi's natural resources are rapidly depleting. Soil degradation, deforestation, and climate-related disasters such as floods and droughts further challenge the nation's ability to sustain its people. With 90% of the population reliant on agriculture, these environmental issues pose a direct threat to livelihoods and food security. Education and healthcare. Education and healthcare are vital for breaking the cycle of poverty, but access to these services in Burundi remains limited. Public education is technically free from grades 1 through 9, but the reality is far more complicated. Without a birth certificate, children cannot enroll in school, and a staggering 62% of Burundian children lack this essential document. For those who do attend school, overcrowded classrooms and a shortage of resources make learning a daily struggle. Healthcare faces similar challenges. While basic services are free for those who qualify, the lack of infrastructure, medical supplies, and trained professionals means that many go without care. Malnutrition and preventable diseases like malaria and diarrhea are widespread, particularly among children. Organizations like Humanity and Inclusion are working to improve access, but progress is slow and uneven. The economy and employment. Burundi's economy remains heavily reliant on agriculture, which employs 80% of the population and contributes 90% of its GDP. Yet, this reliance on agriculture also makes the economy extraordinarily fragile. Environmental disasters like floods and droughts wreak havoc on crops, leaving farmers unable to recover or sustain their livelihoods. The lack of access to modern farming equipment and techniques further stifles productivity, trapping many families in a cycle of poverty. The effects of global disruptions, such as the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine, have only worsened the situation, causing spikes in food prices and depleting government resources. Industries outside of agriculture are almost non-existent in Burundi. The country struggles to attract foreign investment due to rampant corruption, poor infrastructure, and political instability. Small businesses often face bureaucratic hurdles, while international investors are deterred by governance concerns and lack of skilled labor. Job opportunities in urban centers are scarce, and most people are forced into informal employment, which is unstable and poorly paid. For the majority of Burundians, finding a steady job that pays a living wage is a distant dream. Despite these challenges, recent efforts by the government to invest in infrastructure and vocational training provide a glimmer of hope. However, much more needs to be done to create a sustainable and diversified economy capable of lifting millions out of poverty. Life in rural communities. In rural Burundi, where the majority of the population resides, life revolves around subsistence farming. Families wake up early to tend to their small plots of land, often with outdated tools and techniques. Children frequently miss school to help with chores, while women shoulder the burden of fetching water, cooking, and caring for the household. Villages lack basic amenities like electricity and clean water, and healthcare facilities are often hours away on foot. Despite these hardships, communities display remarkable resilience, supporting one another through traditional practices and communal efforts. Their spirit of unity offers a glimmer of hope in an otherwise challenging environment. Steps toward progress. Despite its challenges, Burundi is not without hope. The Marankabandi Social Safety Nets program is one example of efforts to combat poverty, providing financial support and training to help families generate income. International organizations continue to offer aid, addressing issues like malnutrition, education, and healthcare. President Evariste Ndayishimiye, elected in 2020, has taken steps to curb corruption and attract foreign investment. Infrastructure projects and vocational training programs aim to create jobs and improve living standards. While these initiatives are promising, the road to recovery is long, and sustainable change requires collective effort from both the government and international community. A look to the future. Burundi's challenges are immense, but its potential is equally significant. With its young and vibrant population, the country has the opportunity to rebuild and thrive. By investing in education, healthcare, and sustainable development, Burundi can lay the foundation for a brighter future. The resilience of its people, who continue to endure and support one another despite overwhelming odds, is a testament to their strength and determination. While the journey will be difficult, Burundi's story is far from over. With the right leadership and global support, this nation can rise above its struggles and rewrite its narrative. Burundi's story is one of resilience, hope, and the fight for a better tomorrow. While it remains the poorest country in the world, its people continue to inspire through their strength and determination. What are your thoughts on Burundi's challenges and potential? Share your perspective in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that uncover the realities of life across the globe. Together, we can raise awareness and foster understanding. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.